Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alamin wal aqibatu lil muttaqin wal salatu wassalamu ala sayyidil mursalin Muhammadin wa alihi wa ashabihi أما بعد فقد قال الله تبارك وتعالى في القرآن المجيد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والعصر إن الإنسان لفي خسر إلا الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات وتواصوا بالحق وتواصوا بالصبر صدق الله العلي العظيم وقد قال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم كل يغدو فبائع نفسه ومعتقها أو موبقها أو كما قال عليه الصلاة والسلام. My most respected elders, beloved brothers and sisters in Islam, young friends, worthy visiting members to our Jamaat, may the peace, mercy and blessings of Almighty Allah fill our hearts. I have recited a very short chapter of the Noble Quran, Surah Al-Asr, the time. And here we need to analyze the relationship between the oath of time and the subject matter. There must be a nisbat, there must be a relation between that oath and the thing which is being sworn about or the subject matter. And we will come to know that there is yet another chapter of the Holy Quran, a longer surah, which has two names. One is Insan, which means man. And there is another name for that very chapter. It is called Ad-Dahr, time. What a great connection there is between time and man. And we see the commentators of the Quran, they generally state that all halal and the conditions of man, his growth, his development right from the womb of his mother in different stages, his movements from the time he is being delivered as a babe. It is with the passing of time that it is observed by loved ones. The child begins to turn a little bit, then begins to roll. The child begins to creep. The child attempts to stand up. The child begins to walk, then runs. All this happens with the passing of a period of time. What a great connection between time and man. And man loses the capital of his existence with the passing of time. Take note of that. Hours, days, months, years, and decades of life pass in very quick time. It passes so quickly. There are people who have attained the age of, mashallah, 95, 50, 75, and you sit with them. They can remember the very first day they entered into a school. At the age of 60 years, 80 years, you speak to someone. He or she tells you about the first day of school and is aged in the middle 80s and 90s. So quickly time passes. We look at our little ones. They are our pets. We give them all the dular. We keep them at home. And with the passing of time, next thing you know, you are looking for the principal. It's time that you get some entry, admission in a school for your child. The child goes to primary school, 5, 7 years would pass. With the passing of time, you're looking for another school. The child now has to go to college, university. Your girls, you grow up as your princesses, and you keep them as guests. Little before you know it, the time has come when they become brides and you send them off. And it all happens so quickly. We take it for granted. We forget that every time the clock ticks, it's one moment less in our lives. It's happening. Time waits for no one. It is moving on. No one is happy with deductions and reductions of his savings. You put a little saving into a bank, you're not so very happy with what is being taken out on a monthly basis to cover costs. You wish it never happened. But man is like a person who possesses great capital, and without his permission and will, every day a portion of that capital is being taken away. And this is the nature of life in this world. How well it has been put by a poem. Hayatuka anfasun tu'addu fa kullama madara fasun minha intaqadat bihi juz'a. Your life comprises of a few breaths that can be counted. Your life comprises of a few breaths that can be counted. When one of them is sent out, a part of your life has diminished. It seems to be so long, but each time you send out a breath, believe it or not, a part, just a portion of your life has been completed. Allah has granted man the invaluable capital of his life so that he may invest it in profitable business banking. If he invests his capital of life sensibly in good works, after belief, virtuous actions, there will be no limit to the profitable returns. And mashallah, we have heard everywhere, for one good deed performed, the rewards are given to the doer, well multiplied. One letter of the Quran, look at Allah's promise, 10 hasanah. And based on one's sincerity for different deeds and actions, so the rewards are being multiplied. But if he invested unwisely in evil works, then leave alone speaking about profitable returns. He will even lose his capital. That's indeed very sad. And in addition, he will incur the dreadful scourge of committing numerous sins, and that will bring about great sufferings. The Messenger of Allah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam is reported to have said, كل يغدو فبائع نفسه فمعتقها أو موبقها. Everyone wakes up in the morning, invested his life, his soul in a business. Either he saves or frees the capital from loss, or he destroys it. There is no other way. Just two ways. As he would invest his life in the business every morning when he wakes up. Either he saves the capital from loss, or he destroys it. And nothing is wrong with equating faith and good actions with tijarat, trade. It sounds a bit unusual. Say you trade and transaction and you're talking about faith and performance of good actions. Even in the Holy Quran, Allah has mentioned belief and good deeds as trade when He said, "Oh, you believe, hal adullukum ala tijaratin." Oh, you have iman, should I tell you of a trade, a business, tunjikum min adhabin alim, that would save you from a severe torment and punishment? And he is referring to tu'minuna billah, believe in Allah and performing righteous action. In fact, that is the best trade anyone can do. Just as when you are doing a business, doing trade, you don't just take out your capital, you don't take out your money and invest it into a business, but your effort, your time, your sacrifice that you make is what contributes towards the real success of the business. There are many people who started a business, but it went bankrupt. You don't just take out funds and leave it there, and you are here and there and everywhere else but looking at your business. You got to spend your time. As you give wealth, you also give your time, your energy, your effort. And then the profit, it is indeed most remarkable. Like that, after one has inculcated iman, faith and belief, and he proves it by way of performance of good actions, subhanallah, everywhere you read about it, the returns are significant. And Allah, through His infinite mercy, can give much, much more than we can ever enumerate. So much blessings. Everyone is looking for security and protection. One who recites A'udhu billahi samil alim minash shaitanir rajim 3 times in the morning, and the last 3 verses of Surah Hashar, sincerely with his iman right and strong, Allah appoints for such a reciter 70,000 angels who will protect him until the evening. And if one would recite the same at evening, Allah appoints another 70,000 angels who will safeguard him for the entire night. How many people can afford paying for one security? Do it with faith and trust in Allah. Oh Allah, this I have heard from your messenger. I accept you as Lord. I accept Islam as the religion. I accept Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam as the Nabi and the Rasul. I have my tawakkul. You help me. I do my part. Allah, my trust. Allah does not fail such one with such iman. And since time is man's capital of life, who is the trader? Man himself is the tajir. Man himself is the trader. Under normal circumstances, his capital is not frozen. It is not a frozen thing that might be kept for a while and used up later when the need arises. The capital that we are talking about, man's main capital, it is fluid, or flowing capital, flowing all the time. It is not about something that you can shelf. Keep it there, locked up, and when you need it, you can go for it. That capital is flowing continuously with the ticking and the clicking of the clock. Whether you awaken, whether you are sleeping, whether you are well, whether you are sick, whether you are in your local land or you have traveled abroad, think about it. Whether you are conscious or you are not conscious, that's a different capital that keeps on flowing constantly. The man who invests that, he needs to be very wise. He needs to be intelligent and agile so that he is able to swiftly reap the profit from his flowing capital. One scholar said that he learned the true meaning of this verse from an ice vendor. Imagine that, picture that in your mind. An ice vendor in one of the hot days like what we are experiencing now, having his eyes out in the open, calling out, Ya Ikhwani, oh my brothers, come, please come and buy from me. I beg of you, come and buy, make your purchase now. And he cries out, my capital is melting. Oh people, come now, come and buy now, my capital is melting. That's the capital of man. Time which is not solid, flowing and flowing away, subhanAllah. And the man who invested, he needs really to be wise, not allowing the capital to be destroyed and to be exhausted. He does it in a particular way. We take the example of one who is mixing concrete. Imagine all he has is a $55 to purchase one sack of cement. He has to maintain the strength of that for a particular job. He got maybe some help, someone who is throwing water. At no time that man could be standing upright with a hand in the waist and the other one holding the shovel. But he has to be on the move. Water is flowing, he cannot allow the strength of that mixture to run off. It has to be turning continuously, that shovel. That's it. Similarly to the ice vendor, there is no time to waste. And that is why this verse which I have read, Surah Al-Asr, has sworn by the oath of time, to indicate that it is a melting capital. It's a flowing capital. And the only way to escape loss is to take every moment of his life as valuable. Every moment of our life must be considered as most valuable. I have never seen people work so hard. I have never heard so many machineries as on a day prior to when TNT sends out a bulletin concerning the interruption of electricity. Anytime the mic passes and announces the interruption of electricity, you hear all sorts of machinery the day before. From washing machines, pressure washers, drills, sanders. You hear that everyone wants to do something. The housewives, they get up and they wash everything. Tomorrow there will be no current. There will be no current. They take and grasp every opportunity, both men and women, to use electricity. Could you imagine if there was some method whereby some being can come and whisper to you genuinely, "Oh, Servant of Allah, call your name. I have come with a message to you, and there is no doubt about it. You have 3 more days in this world. 3 more days in this world." Could you imagine what will be your behavior? How will you spend the last 3 days of your life in this world. Why not a month? Even you are informed of a 40 days or a year, the manner in which you and I will spend that time will be quite different. It will be different. And you know what is that? While you and I sit by and think we have all the time in the world, none of us here knows whether or not this might be the last Jummah we are ever witnessing. From last Jummah, before today, we have sent off a very dear father and brother to the great beyond. And may Allah cause his soul to rest in peace. Abu Nizam, the father of our dear brother, and we pray and beg that Allah will give him a resting place. That's it. He was definitely not one who knew that he would not be around to witness this Jummah. That's life, and we have to treat it as it is. We look at the 4 principles mentioned in the verse Surah Al-Asr. Allah, after swearing lifetime, he can mention that man, inna al-insana lafi khusr, all of man, they have gone down, they are in loss, they are astray. Now has come the accepted phrase or sentence, illa alladhina amanu, except those among them who believe in Allah. And after belief, they perform righteous actions. Then, after believing, doing good works, they enjoin one another with that which is true. Speak positively. It's referring to the oneness of Allah, the Tawheed. Wherever the opportunity would arise, you talk to one another. Look at how many things here indicate towards Allah as being one alone, beside whom there is none worthy of worship. Wherever you are, in small gatherings, large gatherings, mixed gatherings, there is no compromise regarding the oneness of Allah. Even if you would see adverse reactions, you cannot compromise the Tawheed of Allah. Speak out forcefully, speak out against it. Speak out against those who ascribe partners with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and enjoin one another with patience. Meaning, no matter how difficult it is, my brother, my sister, we got to obey the command of Allah. We got to get ready. Ramadan is coming. Be ready to fast, even you have never tried it. Wake up in the morning, no matter how tired you are, and perform the Fajr prayer. Brother, you cannot see it now. Take out your 2.5% and you pay zakat. It's the command of Allah. Be patient in times of distress. You put your trust in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and you make the one thing. Enjoy one another with patience. Perseverance. That's the command. And without sincere efforts, to the best of one's ability, to invite others to the right path, one's own good deeds are not enough for one's salvation. In fact, it is important for everyone to caution one another, and charity begins at home. Family members, leaders, they must not fall short, because many leaders are lax in this matter. They are not very strict in ensuring that the members of their family are upholding the laws and the rules of Islam. It's important. Be it you are Imam, ensure that at home all is fine. Everyone is trying to follow Islam, performing Salah, fasting in Ramadan, dressing properly. All that is important. Sometimes you see Imams do not take heed of, family life. Imams who attend functions years and years and decades all alone should be asked, you don't have a family? How I don't see your family? You're coming here, everybody's family is present. What's the matter? Is there a problem? Can we help you? That's the kind of thing, without fear, free from fear, and free and fear. This is what organizations are supposed to be doing. If an imam is always seen all alone by himself, you're going to wherever, you're going to Eid celebration, you're going to weddings, you're going to gatherings, mix, and you are always alone. What, my brother, you are not married? This is important, and we fear no one when we utter this. The Prophet of Islam, upon him is preached, the best of all of you is he who is good to his family, and I am the best towards my family. Enjoying right, and it begins at وَتَوَاصَوْا بِالْحَقِّ وَتَوَاصَوْا بِالصَّبْرِ. It is said that the companions of the Prophet, upon him peace, never met, even two of them, and departed, except that one would recite Surah Al-Asr and the other would listen. وَالْعَصْرِ إِنَّ الْإِنسَانَ لَفِي خُسْرٍ إِلَّا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ وَتَوَاصَوْا بِالْحَقِّ وَتَوَاصَوْا بِالصَّبْرِ. Imam Shafi, rahmatullahi alayhi, says, if people thought about this surah carefully, it would be enough for their complete guidance. It is concise but very comprehensive. You go back to read it, understand it, read it again. Whenever you meet, you read it for one another. Do not ever gather and depart without reciting a short surah, Surah Al-Asr. May Allah bless us all and give us the true benefit of this chapter. Barakallahu lana wa lakum bil Qur'anil Azim.